Okay, we picked one of the most busiest specialty coffee shop in the area to test this new grinder from Mahlkönig in action. About a month ago, we brought it here and together with head of coffee, Denis Kramаш, we installed it on a bar. Now, about thousands of shots later, we are back to learn how the baristas like it and what was their experience with new grind by sync technology. But let's start from the beginning. We knew that the former Czech Barista champion was a perfect candidate for this field test, and he picked their flagship location to install the machine.
I'm Denis, and I'm head of coffee in Rebelbean Roastery. It's a big coffee shop in a business center next to the main train station. Let's say our typical customer wants the coffee fast and in good quality. Well, I heard about this new technology, grind by sync, like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And I was excited to hear that they synchronized the machines together. It's something that we are still working with and thinking about, like, how to maintain the recipes, how to be more and more consistent, because there's a lot of people behind the coffee machine switching. So it's really important to be as consistent as possible. And this technology is another step to making sure that the recipes are followed and the coffee is exactly how we want it to be.
What you are the most excited about?
The automatization. Ooh la la.
Together, we took it out of the box and assembled all the necessary parts to get it ready for action.
This one, and of course, this one.
Okay, cool. So let's bring it to the bar.
Yeah. The one we have right now, it's E65 GWV, grind by weight with a scale. And this one is new E80 with bigger burrs with technology grind by sync. It's like a big brother.
Yeah.
So it should work with our coffee machine.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we should just swap it and make it work, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you were considering to having both grinders side by side first? Why you decided to actually keep only one?
So I was worried about the situation when the grinder stops communicating with the machine. But when I found out that you can actually use it without it, as the previous one, there's no need to keep both grinders.
How many coffees do you serve here per day, roughly?
I would guess like 300-400.
Okay.
Something like that.
That should be a proper test.
That should
Well,
be
a
enough.
few weeks. Yeah.
Should be enough. Cool, I think it's ready. You can turn it on.
Okay. So now we are ready to turn it on.
Ooh, the king of grinders. So we have our app for the machine, for the coffee machine, where we set our warm metrics, the temperatures and stuff. I, in advance, downloaded the Mahlkönig app,
Okay.
which should connect the grinder with the coffee machine.
It's fast enough.
So right now we have to scan the QR code from the display of the grinder to connect with the app.
Okay.
And once we create the device in the app, we can connect it to the machine. So the nice thing about those technologies is that you can actually check it from your phone wherever you are. I still see how many shots they made during the day, what's the recipe, etc. The apps allow you to have multiple machines, and because we have multiple coffee shops, we have like a fleet of the machines in the app, which is pretty cool.
Let's go.
So our grinder is on board.
Congratulations.
Actually, we are connecting the two apps between each other, Marzocco and Mahlkönig.
Yeah.
So from the Marzocco app, I'm choosing the Mahlkönig grinder. Success! Your coffee
again.
machine has been synced with your grinder, and it's done.
Okay, so now we can sit and it will work. So now it's calibrating the portafilter?
Now I am adding the portafilter in the memory of the grinder. You can actually tell the grinder what amount of coffee in which portafilter you want to grind. You can add, I think, up to like 6 or something portafilters. So those, then you tell the grinder it's double shot. You allocate the portafilter to the dose. You set this distance between the bursts. You tell him what brew time you want, enable grind by sync mode, and I think that's it. And as you can hear, it was adjusting the distance between the burrs right now. And if I put it here,
it will measure the shot and then eventually adjust this distance, right?
according to the brew time from the coffee machine, it should change the burr distance to accommodate the recipe.
Cool. Okay, let's try it out.
Let's try it. I'm curious. This will be pretty close, actually. You heard that? So the shot took 2 more seconds that we wanted, and the grinder changed the burst settings from 100 to 124 micrometers. And it was pretty instant. So I can imagine, like, in the time you are cleaning the portafilter, it will just adjust the burst settings. Want to try the first shot?
Okay, yeah, that was close enough, right?
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds from the goal.
Okay, that's for the first shot. That's pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So it took a few more shots to get familiar with the new technology, learn how the grind by sync works, and adjust some more detail before we had coffee dialed in.
There we go. We are there. It's really nice. It's our washed coffee from Costa Rica. A lot of stone fruits and hazelnuts. So at the end of the testing, there will be thousands.
So it was really exciting to see how you were setting it up. It took us 1 hour, one hour and a half,
Something like that.
and about 10 shots to get it running.
I'm really excited to see how the grinder collects the data and adjusts to our coffee shop. And I think at the end of this period, it will be like flawless.
Okay, so
See you
thank
then.
you so much. Cheers. Enjoy, guys. So we are back after 1 month here at Rebelbean Vlněna with Dennis, and we are curious, how was the test of the new Mahlkönig grinder? Okay, so I remember we are here pulling the first shot from this grinder. So can you check how many shots did you do during the test?
I think it was almost a month.
Yeah.
So the grinder says it was total 3,000 and almost 600 shots.
Okay.
And because it weighs every shot, we can actually tell you that it was 63.5 kilograms of coffee.
Okay, that's a solid test.
So I think the burrs are pretty well seasoned after this. It was quite a challenge for our baristas. We are used to like tweak the shots like by hand every little while. And with this one, you just need to learn to trust the grinder, because the process of like calibrating the shots, process of like synchronizing is a little bit different. This grinder has like 1 second delay to weigh the portafilter, etc. So they were like, it's slower. But on the other hand, the previous grind, the grind time was like 6+ seconds. This is like 3. So it's quicker, but it's different. So they were a little bit surprised by that. You don't have to think about it, you can focus on your customers. When you are a barista and you see one first shot which is not in the target, you just like immediately go and change the grind size. But with this grinder, it doesn't work like that. It's doing like average brew time from last few shots, then like counting only the 3, which are like the most in the target. Which doesn't sound that great, but if you think about it, usually if there's some mistake, I don't know, you temp the coffee wrong, or the distribution is not good, or your blend is not that consistent, 1 shot can get out of the target, but that doesn't mean you have to change the grind size. And the grinder is more like careful with it. So usually there's 1 shot bad, then you pull another and it's good. And you are glad that you didn't change the grind size and completely change the whole recipe. In like a normal routine, the baristas know that, let's say every hour, they have to grind a little bit finer and then a little bit finer. With this grinder, you don't have to think about it because it a little bit changes the grind size itself. So in the morning, you again have to like change it to the more coarse one. And we found out it's easier to change it like manually than to wait after the grinder sync it itself, because it's slower.
So you told me that you actually really like the app because you can oversee what's happening. So can you tell me what you find out and what is your favorite part?
So my favorite is a barista dashboard, which just tells you what's the recipe that barista chose for this coffee, what's the last brew time and all the other data. But it also tells you the average accuracy of the grinder. So as you can see, there you can find what percentage of shots were on target, how many shots were too slow, how many too fast, and what was the total synced shots from all the shots that we grinded today.
Yeah, almost 70%.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I wonder how often were you checking the app and checking with the baristas when it was just a new?
I would say twice a day.
Okay.
Because the morning stats are really nice. You are hitting the targets, but the afternoon ones, those are that really tells what's the accuracy of the baristas.
Did you even send a message to barista or
Yeah,
to the manager?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I sent a few messages like, "Hey guys,
What's happening?
what is it? 50%? What's wrong?" But I was just checking that they are actually using the sync because, as I said, the first 2-3 days they were switching it off because they were not used to it.
It was confusing first, right? Like how
Yeah,
does it
yeah.
work and if it's useful. Yeah, for sure.
I really like the centralization. So, for example, all our coffee machines are in my phone in one app. So adding also grinders in this is really nice because you can really check the consistency not only of baristas, but for me, and that's most important, of the coffee. And we are collecting all the data so we know that roasts are okay, the coffees are stable. With our previous grinder, if you are pulling 400 shots a day, it can get messy. So you have to open the grinder, clean the grinder, because the coffee dust is like everywhere. So with this one, we had no problem like that. It's quicker, it just is. And the grind is much more consistent. And distribution into the portafilter as well. If you grind the coffee, it just looks better. There's no clumps, nothing like that, and it's clean. What I really like about this technology, if you are, let's say, supplying with coffee some bakery or some office with coffee machines, when there's no professional or somehow with knowledge about the coffee, the more clever machines you get, the better results will there be. Yep.
Let us know what you think about the new Mahlkönig grinder with grind by sync technology, and don't miss a chance to visit Rebelbean Vlněna in Brno.